Hi there, I'm Drutter. It's May 8th, 2021, and I just returned from an anti-lockdown protest here in my small town in the south central of British Columbia, Canada. And I just wanted to give a little bit of a report on that. I'll put up on the screen some pictures and some video clips that I took while I was there today. And this is something that's happening essentially in every town in Canada and in many parts of the world as well, every Saturday at noon, from about noon to 2 or so, just about everywhere in the world, and definitely going on here in Canada. It's not being reported, but every town's got it, and this town is no different. So I was downtown, we were on the highway, and we spread out over four sides of this major intersection, so we could be seen from anyone if they were coming or going from whatever direction. And so essentially about half the town, as well as people passing through, saw our signs, and I would say at least a couple of thousand people probably passed by there, probably more than that, but I would say at least a couple of thousand people passed by. It was the busiest part of the day, and it's a nice day today, so a lot of people out. And it was a great turnout. We had about 58 people, I think. I counted for sure 58. There might have been more, but 58 at least at the peak. So that was great because we've often had somewhere between 20 and 30 people. So that's interesting to see. Hopefully there is a momentum building there, and that's always kind of what you're after, because one person alone is a protest for sure, and you can get a message across, and you can whatever. But when you get a bunch of people together, then there's community. It's different. It's not just the sum of the parts. It becomes something more, and that's what we are building there. And it's great to go and just be around other people that are free and are not influenced by the psyop, not influenced by the lies, not influenced by the mainstream media propaganda. These people know what's going on, at least to varying degree. They've, accepted the fact that the mainstream narrative is a lie on this, as it has been in the past and other things, but a lot of people are just waking up to that idea now, but I tell you, it's a great group, and if you are looking for some community, if you're looking for just, fresh air, just a reason to get outside and be out, it is very powerful, and I encourage everyone to do it for sure, if you can. A lot of people, have a thing about activism. They think it's Black Lives Matter, or they think, it's different things they've seen on TV or something. But activism is whatever you make it, really. It's just about being active, and when you're passionate about something, and an activist is someone who can't not try and change the world, and that's what my wife and I are. We can't not try and change the world, and we've been that way for at least 10 years. But that's what activism is really at the core, is people that just must do it. For they've been touched in their lives by tragedy or by insight into how things really are or whatever, but they have been activated. You could say they're switched on, and they're going to try and change things. That's for me what activism is. But you can get involved on any level. You can just go, and you don't even have to hold a sign. You don't even have to bring anything. You don't even have to say anything. You just can go and be around other humans if you want to. And you can wear a mask at these things. We're not out to hate anyone. Absolutely not. It's all about acceptance and freedom and personal choice. And it's mostly from a love perspective, not from a fear perspective. These are people who are not fearful. We're there because we want to be around each other. And, one of the reactions we get from people, I'll tell you a bit about reactions now from the public. Whether they're walking through, biking through, or driving through that area of town, and they encounter our protest, our rally, signs like freedom, or today my sign was, "We are the resistance," and my wife, Katie, had COVID-19 was an inside job, and we had a few other signs there. Don't get hit. get people going by that are just elated to see it. I can't believe that they aren't there themselves. Then you get people there that are so upset to see it that, especially with my sign today, it was very polarizing. People either loved it or hated it. They would see me and then I would see their face light up. Yeah, they would pump their fists and, yeah, we are the resistance. And then you got those people that thought, you are the reason that the pandemic is happening. You, the resistance, you're the resistance to the vaccine. You're the resistance to the masks. You're the resistance to the social distancing. You're the ones that are causing all these deaths. And so we get a wide variety. We get absolute love from people and we get complete fear and hatred from other people. And it's very interesting to see. But in terms of numbers of how many people are on, the positive or negative side, I'd say about half of people either are indifferent or don't notice, don't really recognize what's going on, or busy driving, I guess, sometimes. So about half the time you don't get any reaction. But of the reactions, I'd say about 2/3 of the reactions are positive and about 1/3 are negative, maybe closer to 3/4 positive, 1/4 negative. And some of the negative reactions, one of the ones we get all the time is people drive by and they say, "You're all gonna die!" And they're referring to because we're, standing too close together, or we're gathering at all in the first place, which is actually illegal right now. Here we're supposed to be under a circuit breaker here in British Columbia, and they're talking about making that countrywide as well. But no one is obeying it. No, everyone's at work. Everyone, if they're allowed. A lot of places have been shut, of course. So that's one of the things we're protesting. We're trying to protest. Another one we get is get a job. And it's like we're protesting the fact that they've shut a lot of businesses. A lot of people's businesses have been lost because of this, and that's one of the things we're there to protest against. So it's very funny to get that one, get a job, especially on a Saturday afternoon. But I guess they didn't have anything better to say. But when the people say you're all going to die or you're all going to get sick and die, it's really funny because the rest of us just look at each other and smile, because we've got it so many times it's not funny anymore. But for the first few dozen times, it was very funny to hear that. Like we would say, yeah, any week now, right? Any week we're all just going to die. None of us wear masks. None of us social distance. It's like regular times. In fact, it's better than regular times because we got community again. We're actually hugging people. We're actually getting close to people. If someone gets sick, they just don't come. I don't ever see anyone sick at these protests. And that's just how it's always been in society. If you get sick, you don't go to big events or don't go to parties or whatever. You stay home if you're contagious. That's common sense. That's what people are supposed to do. But we don't have that now. We have the law and we have the public health mandates. But speaking of that, they closed down that church and arrested Pastor Artur Pawlowski. I'll put that link down below to a very important video of him getting arrested. I think it was today or I don't know, very recently. But anyways, he's just been arrested after church service on the way home, I guess. Arrested on his knees, and he's always this is the guy that called the police the Gestapo and the Nazis when they came into his church, and I talked about him a few weeks ago on this channel, and he kicked them out. He said, "You're not welcome." And the reason that they're after him is because he's still holding services. And so it's terrible because we have these big corporations that are allowed to be open, huge malls and huge Walmarts and other big, huge stores that are flooded with people, thousands of people going in and out, and that's legal, right? That they've legalized that. They've made that an essential activity. But if someone were to, have people into a building to worship or to be, together as a community, that is illegal, and that is getting people arrested. And so this is just, this is tyranny. This is fascism, communism, Marxism. This is whatever you want to call it. It's totalitarianism. It's tyranny. We have tyranny in Canada, and I've reported on that for years, and I said tyranny was coming. I said that here's a tyranny checklist, you may remember. And we've checked off all those things. We are living in tyranny now. There's no doubt about it. And people don't care, or they don't want to notice, or don't want to acknowledge it. And that's just, they're just part of the problem, those people. Bootlickers. people that have Stockholm syndrome, who've learned to love their captor, learned to love their slave master. It's an adaptive coping mechanism, but it's not a healthy one. And when you adapt to that, you are a slave. You are a slave that's adapted to the chains. So that's not me, and I have to keep on doing something. I feel I have a 19-month-old son now. He has lived his life in lockdown, and these protests are the only community, the only human faces that he ever gets to see. And he's very healthy, very happy, and it's part of that is because of these protests, this community that we're now slowly building up for the past few months. I've been getting involved here locally. And so, that's my experience. I just wanted to say that. I'm going to put a few clips up on the screen. Well, we've got enough people today that we're sending contingencies elsewhere. We've got a good group over here. A lot of people. Goes that way too. And then there's some on the other corners as well. Wearing masks outside. If you haven't been to one of these things before, a lot of the people I meet there say, I've never done something like this before, they say to me. And, I have, but I know what that's like, absolutely. And so it's, we're all just very encouraging of anyone who wants to come out here. And your level of participation, you can choose yourself. And you don't have to sign up. There's nothing. It's absolutely grassroots. You just go. That's it. You just go and participate in whatever way you feel is appropriate. And I'll tell you, Canada is not happy with these lockdowns. People are not happy with these restrictions. And people are aware that it is a lie. And I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you soon.
Keep standing up against them, even if your friends keep piling on you or whatever, who cares, okay? There's a line in the sand, you can cross it one day, they'll cross it too. Thanks, everybody.